Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect. This is your brother Quasiar with another quick one. And let me just go real quick. I wanted to see the whole full circle. I don't know if you can read it. And it says, trust, or truth starts to come out, anti-Semitism rises. Pay attention to what that circle is, because there is some truth. And although there are real truths coming out, they're trying to say that their truths are the ones that are causing the anti-Semitism. Gain people's sympathy through exaggerated catastrophes or atrocities. Salakia. Compare events to post atrocities, Holocaust, 9/11. Use this to justify an invasion of the enemy. Total annihilation of innocent enemy. Now, I also found something in there's a channel called The Real American Voice, and their sitcom, if it can be called that, it's called The War Room, and it's like the news, but they sell a lot of stuff there. The reason why I keep it there is because they are Trump supporters and they talk about Trump things that he's about to do or that he wants to do, and they've been watching his court dates and whatnot lately, and then they spoke about that he's going to court today, and nobody's talking about that. And this is December 17, 2025, and Trump is going to court today for all of the stuff that he's being blamed of. Okay, so let's see what happens out of that. Nevertheless, let's continue on. Elder brother Malcolm from the Chicago branch. His channel is GMS Maccabee Spirit 144, and I'll show you also what these people were talking about in the War Room channel. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to play a piece of his video. I'm not going to play all his video. I'll place the video in the description box. Okay?
At the first day of Hanukkah, is that what it is? And they're having a celebration, and they just started shooting them, right? So has all the hallmarks of a false flag. By the way, it's like a block away from a police department, yet it took 20 minutes for the police to respond.
Jimmy, Australia gave up all their guns after the first mass shooting they had.
That's right.
They gave up all their guns. So how did some Muslims sneak guns in?
Right. And if a Muslim wanted to go shoot Jewish people, why would they?
And on that note, you know, it makes zero sense to depopulate or take the guns out of your population from your legal gun owners, from your lawful citizens. Because if you're in an event like that that's outdoors, and you figure, especially when you think about the amount of people that have concealed carries here in the States, because, you know, people who do have concealed carries, typically they're what you would call lawful citizens. They don't give them to people who have felonies, people who've, you know, been in, you know, in things of that nature. All right. And of course, the bad element is that they like to talk about, they're going to have guns regardless. So why would any government push to disarm its lawful citizens, unless it's an agenda. All right. And you can see that, well, if you would screenshot what's on the screen about the Zionist cycle, okay, and see the circle: fake a major attack, gain the people's sympathy through exaggerated statistics. Well, his hand is in the way of the third one.
It says compare, or should I say, compare events to post, atrocities, Holocaust, 9/11.
Use this to justify the invasion of the enemy, total annihilation of the innocent enemy. Truth starts to come back. Anti-Semitism rises. And so they fake a major attack again. And that's what happens. All right? It's because people start to figure out stuff ain't adding up. So so all it takes is for you to question or come against the narrative that, that the name stealers, let's go with that title for them. That's what the Chinese, Moabites call them in the 7th century.
Give me 1 second, because something just came to mind, because they've been doing this for a very long time. All right? That circle thing, they've been doing it for a very long time. Even before you can even think of them doing something like this, they were doing it. The only reason why you're feeling it now is because the apostles of Great Millstone has brought you 100% truth. So now they have to turn their attention to the people, the people of the Lord, man. They have to turn their attention to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because truth starts to come out, anti-Semitism rises. So they made that word up, anti-Semitism, because the true Semites, or should I say Semitic people, are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
When they first converted. But he said, beware of the name stealers. That's what I'm going to try to call them from now on. But when you speak against the name stealers, they instantly attack you with, their comeback is, anti-semantics. All right? That's what they do. And all this really is to stop this truth from coming out. That's what this comes down to. This is Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power. That's the kingdom that I always talk about in the opening statements. Heaven coming down here on earth and being ruled by the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes. This is what they don't want to happen, since they've hijacked, remember J-ish is a hijack for Israelite. Okay, so they've attached that word. So every time you say that word, people think of them and not of the actual Israelites.
And what's incredible, how the Lord has it, or the Lord does his work, man, because they truly think that they have the power to manipulate what's going to go next and what's going to happen. What they don't realize is that what they do is what the Lord wants them to do for them to fall. And you cannot make that up.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, the accuser that accused them before our power day and night. So they accuse us before God day and night, falsely. And the Lord is going to bring that wicked cycle to an end.
They go to Australia to do it. Why wouldn't they go to Israel to do it? It doesn't make
I thought they'd go to the sound of the guns.
That's right.
Remember? They go to the sound of the guns.
Here's the weird thing. Candace Owens, did you know this, Kurt? Candace Owens says this. She tweeted this out. She says they have been signaling that a 9/11 style attack is coming. the second week of December.
Wow.
Save this tweet. It will age well. That was November 27th of this year.
You see
she
that?
said that. The second week. Oh, well, lo and behold, here we are. And I
Just
like this, the
coincidence.
Zionist cycle, fake a major attack. Okay, so we got it. So just
That's anti-Semitism,
That's a coincidence. There's nothing to see here.
Jimmy.
Just-
I've been talking to some people, and they've
yes,
said you're right.
just to let you know what happened before we show you the truth. The 2025 Bondi Beach in Australia. It occurred on December 14th at Archer Park near Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. The terrorist attack targeted a Hanukkah celebration, Hanukkah by the Sea, organized by Shabbat of Bondi. Shabbat Shalom. Attended by around 1,000 people on the first day of Hanukkah. Details of the attack: 2 gunmen opened fire from a footbridge overlooking the event using long-barreled firearms, including at least 1 bolt-action rifle, and firing around 50 shots. Authorities declared it a terrorist incident motivated by anti-Semitism. Just like that. No investigation, no nothing. We know what it is.
All right, and also they were so-called whites, man. There were 2 so-called white men, all right, but they're turning it against you with ICE, all right. Here in America, this is what brings me to this right here. All right, so it says Kentucky State University shooting suspect, right? All right, so that's one, right? They want to make it look like a Jake, but he's not a Jake. All right, he's not a Jake. Well, at least I don't think he's a Jake. And then you got this guy right here, who's not a Jake, which I know for sure he's not a Jake. I mean, come on, really. Let me see, where is he? Where is he? Okay, here it is. This is what I saw on the channel that I was talking to you about, the War Room, where it shows this so-called white individual walking around, right? And first, you don't see the bag where he had the long pistol that they saying, right? And I don't know where the hell he had the bag, because there's another picture of him with a body bag, right? So that car there that passes was actually checking him out. There's a video of that on the channel. Okay, so can I play this? Let me see something. So you see, this is the same place where he was walking before. Now he has a bag. Okay, now let me go back. Okay, he has the bag right there. No, he don't have the bag. You see, he don't have the bag. So what's going on? Is this fake? You know, because what the hell is going on here? First he has a bag, then he don't have a bag. He's walking around. You know, see, this is the same. Wait. There he goes. Because, you know what they're saying now? That white people have a target on their head. This is what they're saying. They're literally saying that people are being targeted. So-called whites are being targeted. Okay? But they tell you that it's because the immigrants. All right? This is what they're telling you. They don't say that it's their own people who are tired of their shit. You know, I might just include this video too, because I'm not going to play too much of it. All right? Give me a second. Anyways, you know what? I'm just going to go back to the video. I'm here now with the Malcolm, Elder Malcolm, and I'll play a little bit more, and then I'll call it.
Described by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese.
And it's very sloppy, as usual. And this is why it's not in the headlines, not in the ticker tape. When you go on the side, I'll scroll to the right, and you scroll through those videos, those are the hot topics, okay? And usually news. Like I said, you'll see all the news. This event was all in the ticker tape yesterday. but it's not in the ticker tape today. Why? Because they want to, now that they've used it, they want to make this story go away, and then they'll pull it out when they need to, when a talking point. But they don't want people focusing on this because this story has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. The math isn't mathing. It's not adding up. Okay, this is not adding up at all.
Albanese as an act of pure evil. Well, I already showed you what an act of pure evil is.
When you said Chabad, I already knew what it was because that's an international spy ring posing as some sort of religious movement.
Yes. Oh, is that? Okay.
Yes. So that's Menachem Schneerson, the one that the Gentiles have. He sounds like a Nazi, the way he talks about Najib. But anyway, they're very cagey about if they're Zionists or not because it's just about all Jews coming together. But at the end of the day, it's about supporting Israel. They're an international, just like ADL is a fake group. They're all fake groups.
Yeah. So here we go. There were 15 casualties, including a 10-year-old girl, an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor, and Rabbi Eli Schlanger, who was a London-born Shabbat emissary and event organizer. Other victims, such as Reuven Morrison and Alex Kletman, and at least one Israeli citizen and one French citizen. Dozens were injured. So there you go. Who were the perpetrators? Well, they say the attacker was a father and son duo. Saeed Akram, 50-year-old father, a licensed gun owner who was shot and killed by police at the scene.
So
Naveed Akram,
they made sure, Salakia, they made sure that they said a licensed gun owner. So why is that verbiage in there? All right. Because they want to come after the legal guns. They want to silence the population. They want you to shut up, exposing them. Them trying to keep up this lie that they're the people of the Lord. It's gotten too much. The burden is just too heavy. So when you point out those facts or bring out that truth, that falls into the category as anti-semantics. All right. They want to control the narrative. And they are controlling the narrative. And the fact that they can threaten you is evidence of what people say being true. They have completely hijacked the American government. America is ruled by the Israelis. Point blank, period. For you to say otherwise is you just being stupid. All right. And that right there can get me labeled to anyone who says that or agrees with that. Anti-semantics.
And this is what I say. This is me thinking as a man that because they're doing what they're doing is going to cause the American so-called white man to go against what they're doing is going to cause that civil war. But it's not what they're planning, because what they plan is to scare people enough that they can control them. And, at the same time, kill a few, remove a few, and, let's call it a day. But in the midst of that, the Lord is going to rise the people, right? Because it's written that the Lord will rise up Judah, all right? And so they're not waiting for that. They're not expecting that. They think that they have control, like the elder said, like they have total control. But they're never thinking about the power that the Lord is going to give his people to rise up. All right? And then also at the other end is going to have all these so-called whites go against them, like it's happening in a little scale. It's going to happen in a big scale. And that's what's going to cause them to just say, all right, blow it up to hell. All right? Blow America to hell. And in reality, that's what the Lord planned for America anyway. All right, so they doing what the Lord wants. All right, for his return. So no matter how you put it, no matter how you put it together why it is going to happen, it is still the work of the Lord. He said that's what's going to happen. And without further ado, let's keep going on, because I think I'm running a little late and I got to go.
All right, because your Congress, your president, from the White House on down, has been compromised. These people, they daily, almost daily they write codes and statutes that go around the law of the land, and they make Israeli issues in Israel more important than American issues and needs. All right? All that is happening at the same time that Christianity is turning against Judaism. And the rabbis, some rabbis, are pointing out that Caucasian Christianity, all right, both in America and in Europe, are Esau or Edom. All right? When the problem with that is that that's absolutely 100% true, but so is Judaism. The whole Judeo-Christian movement is Esau, Edom. Not just, don't try to put, throw the Christians under the bus. You go under that bus with them, rabbis, because you too are Asaph. So let's, as you say. So let me play, turn the sound up.
Seriously, can somebody explain the likelihood to me? Actually don't, because it's zero. It's fucking 0% chance that this one guy happens to be at the October the 7th terrorist attack, and then within a couple of years just happens to be at Bondi Junction. During both of these terrorist attacks, his first calm instinct is to take a selfie from the floor. Fuck me, can you not see it? The odds aren't just low, they don't exist. It isn't bad luck. It is a planted face and a pre-packaged story dropped right in front of us so that we'll share it and that you'll feel a certain way. We are being played in the middle of real bodies and real grief, and they are seeding their propaganda, and people are posting it with the sad emoji. Yes, the wave of anti-Semitism is real, and that's the Israeli government's fault. That's their creation. They wage the war, then they harvest the global backlash, and then they will weaponize it to call any criticism hate. They are manipulating you.
Ooh, wait a minute. Let's pause her. And let's go back to Candace Owens' chart. Right there. That cycle. Right there. Okay.
Seriously, can somebody explain the likelihood to me? Actually don't, because it's zero. It just happens to be at Bondi Junction. During both of these terrorist attacks, his first calm instinct is to take a selfie from the floor. Fuck me, can you not see it? The odds aren't just low, they don't exist. It isn't bad luck. It is a planted face and a pre-packaged story dropped right in front of us so that we'll share it and that you'll feel a certain way. We are being played in the middle of real bodies and real grief,
and that's sad.
They are seeding their propaganda, and people are posting it with the sad emoji.
Yes,
the wave of
unfortunately,
anti-Semitism is real.
People
and
actually die in these false flag
events.
events.
That's their creation. They wage the war, then they harvest the global backlash, and then they will weaponize it to call any criticism hate. They are manipulating you.
Yep.
Every single time. Seriously, can somebody explain the likelihood to me?
Okay.
Actually,
so that's that one. Got one more for you. This one. What's happening here? AI checked. AI said this was a legit image. A legit image. You see that? 0% AI probability. This was a false event. So, let's finish with some scriptures, man. It's disgusting. This is why the ticker tape. Let's go back. Because yesterday, if you scroll through my screen like this, all you saw was the story that I just pulled off the screen. Now there is nowhere to be found because it's that bad. And people are reposting images, but then people reposted the real images. You know, reposted the images of that bloody guy, and then people reposted the images of him being painted and is laughing by the makeup artist who's getting him ready for the photo shoot with the guys with the guns, you know, and all that other stuff. What real bullets or the blanks, however, you know, the whole production. You even saw the film, the cameras, and all the big cameras and all the stuff in the background.
And then they have the nerve to say that you're spreading anti-Semitism when that happens. Okay? That you made it up. You have the technology to actually make the real stuff look fake. It was you who did it. You're the one who is causing this problem. Meanwhile, they did it, but because you reposted, you fell. You fall for you a fucking idiot, in other words. But we here at GMS, hell, we take the fall. We understand what it is to follow Yahweh Bash and Yahushai. We understand. We're not sellouts. We're not going to sell. We're not going to sell.
All propaganda, man. Okay? That story is disgusting. And this is what these people do. All right? And it's all so that they could gain control and mistreat and misuse the funding and the people. All right? And how they get control of everything.
Oh, and before he keeps continuing speaking, you see this here? They want to say that Putin has created, let's see, it says UFC beast of every country. But what do they want to sell you? What are they selling you here?
This is Sirach 10:1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and a government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such as all they that dwell therein. This is why the Israelis murder, kill, you know, everyone around them. They're just like their leader, and they instruct them to do that. And then they're taught this lie. You know, I realize when watching the youth, it's so aggravating when you know the truth. But then I also realize that their youth are taught from their childhood up that they are the people of the Lord. And the older people who teach them these lies, they know that they're not, but they grow up really believing that. And that everyone is beneath them. And they do it also here in America. This is why they want to push Israeli values here in America.
Yeah, and some, because I've heard it myself, okay, some grow up and they find out the truth that they're not, and they get disowned. But some are bent so much that they don't care. They go with the flow.
Jumping up to verse 8, Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So through this violence, through these lies, through these false flag events and real events, because if you could also push someone to response and have the camera ready too. You constantly poking the bear, eventually, or the big cat, the dog, whatever you want to call it. You constantly poking them, but you keep the camera ready for when they break and when they just attack. And then that's the part that you show on camera. You show them attacking. What you don't show is you poking and picking at them and making life miserable for them until they reach a breaking point to where they just lash out.
For instance, what Trump is doing with Maduro, okay? That's a good example.
And that's basically how these imposters, the name stealers, this is how they operate. They show you the response to their oppression while not showing you them being the oppressors. All right? Which much great oppression, lies and deceit have they ruled. All right? That's 2nd Ezra 11. Let's get that real quick. Let me get ready to wrap it up. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, 2nd Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, meaning countries, rulerships, kingdoms, and had power over the whole world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, that with much wicked oppression, and so long dwelt he upon earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. All right? So them being in control, propagandists, once again, they sit by with the cameras at the ready to record the response. All right? To record the response to their oppression, and then they can point out the fact that you're violent and you're wicked and you're anti-Semitic and you just hate us because of our freedom and blah, 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 blah. But what they don't show you is the never-ending foot on the people's necks. All right? So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekah HaKodash, Kwam Yasharallah, and Abba Ball.
And so I was just going to say the same thing before he said, but he actually put it in the screen. The last words he said about this circle. It's amazing how the Lord works. It's you can't make it up. Anyways, I went all the way with the video. I just had a little short at the beginning, so I'm just going to place the link in the description box. That way, if you like, you could subscribe to the Elder and get more edifying videos. And I'll place the link for that other individual that got caught walking around and they saying that he's the shooter in the Brown University. This way you can see that it was made up. Also, that was AI. All right, so if there might have been a shooting, who knows? Oh, I don't know. And if someone knows who was there, who was actually a witness of the shooting, it would be nice if you could come forth and say, oh, look, I saw this, I heard this, and et cetera, et cetera. All right? So, on to the next one. Shalom.